Tonight, our local election coverage continues. Flinders Rangers voters take their pick between the current mayor and his deputy. And all heart at the Pro Heart Outback Prize Award, with one artist taking home $20,000.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with Madeline Kerr begins now.
Good evening. Those stories in just a moment. First tonight, the State Emergency Service has issued a flood advice message for the Flinders district. The SES is warning of potential flash flooding over the next 2 days in the area highlighted on this map, encompassing Hawker, Corn, Port Augusta, Orroroo and Peterborough. The Weather Bureau is predicting isolated heavy rainfalls over the next 48 hours, which might lead to flash flooding within the creek systems, causing water to flow across roads at short notice. Emergency services are reminding everyone to drive to the conditions, and if it's flooded, forget it. Campers are also being advised not to camp near creeks, as water might rise rapidly and unexpectedly. For SES assistance, call 132 500, or for life-threatening matters, call 000. The Flinders Rangers may have seen all its councillors elected unopposed, but it's a different story when it comes to the mayoralty. Incumbent Mayor Greg Flint is facing a challenge from his deputy, Ken Anderson, each offering their own style, ideas and relationships with the community to appeal to voters.
Voters in the Flinders Rangers have 2 picks for the next mayor of the local council. Incumbent Mayor Greg Flint is seeking re-election, with his deputy Ken Anderson also putting his hand up, setting the stage for a contest.
I've been in council for about 12 years now, deputy mayor for about 6, so I've really looked forward to participating in council.
Well, like all elections, we get a bit nervous over these things, but it's democracy. I believe that, in democracy and the right of the people to choose who they want to be their leader or represent them as the mayor.
Corn's water quality and regional essential services the biggest concerns.
Water being up front there, and of course I raised that issue when addressing Country Cabinet just the other week and got a evoked response from the Premier and the Treasurer and other members of Parliament.
Certainly working with state and federal government for essential services for all our communities in Corn, Hawker and Craddock and our outlying areas.
This mayoral contest is a lot quieter than other races like Port Augusta and Whyalla, but the same important issues are at stake, and who will be the leader of the Flinders Rangers Council. Daniel Pizarro, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Over the long weekend, 3 drivers in regional South Australia lost their licences after being caught allegedly drink driving. The first case occurred on Friday morning in Port Pirie, where the driver, a 54-year-old Napaby man, allegedly recorded a blood alcohol reading of 0.142, nearly 3 times over the legal limit. At about 6:45 p.m. on Saturday, patrol stopped a car driving without headlights in Kadina. The driver, a 55-year-old man from Moonta, submitted to a breath test and allegedly returned a positive reading of 0.129. Later that night, a 25-year-old man from Port Lincoln lost his licence for 1 year after allegedly returning a positive reading of 0.202. 4 times the legal blood alcohol limit. All 3 men will be summoned to appear in court at a later date. The winners of the Pro Heart Outback Art Prize have been announced at a gala evening in Broken Hill City Art Gallery. The prize saw 2 local artists coming in first and second, with the winner netting $20,000.
It's one of the most prestigious art prizes around. And this year, first place went to local artist Verity Noonan, who was stunned to come out on top and take home that glorious cash prize.
Yeah, shock. I think if anyone saw my reaction Yeah, just in a million years, I just didn't think that was going to happen. So yeah, just utter shock.
The inspiration behind Ms. Noonan's award-winning artwork, named an Akubra story, was a tale told to her by a close friend.
It's about what happens when you wear an Akubra in the Outback and how the change of perception can happen and how it can be used as a symbol but also for its functional purposes.
Jim Patterson, another local artist, took out second prize for his painting Broken Hill. Although he was unable to attend the presentation night, it's clear that the stunning outback landscape is a source of inspiration for artists when they come out.
You know, I came from the East Coast where life and greenery, it was just thriving everywhere. It's like life was just like on steroids, but here there's a little bit more of a battle to make life.
Along with the art prize, a number of new exhibitions opened as well, with another local-based artist, Joshua DeGrucci, having his artwork shown for the first time in the gallery.
I think I'm very lucky to be able to display alongside the Pro Hard Art Prize, and it's had a huge audience come through and had a lot of positive feedback.
All the finalists from the Pro Hard Art Prize are on display at the Art Gallery, as well as exhibits like Joshua's. Joshua Mercer, 7, Spencer Gulf News.
Still to come tonight, more than 4 years in the making, Broken Hill's best quilters gather at the Trades Hall. And a gymnasium fit for the state's best. Port Pirie welcomes hundreds of gymnasts for the state competition. Welcome back to 7 Spencer Golf News. The Broken Hill Quilters exhibition returned over the long weekend, with locals and visitors flocking to the Trades Hall. It was a welcome return for the group, as their last show took place all the way back in 2018.
After 4 long years, members of the Silver City Quilters were able to grace Trades Hall and display some of the quilts they have made. The Quilters were ecstatic for the return.
It's very exciting. We usually have it every 2 years, and because of COVID, of course, we've had to miss out, so it's good to be back.
It was the perfect long weekend activity. Locals and tourists alike heading to the Heritage Building to experience the quilting process up close.
Yes, we had around about 100 yesterday, and we're looking good for today as well. Everyone's enjoying it. We're getting lots of positive comments. It was a big job putting it all together, but it's all been worthwhile.
While the pandemic stopped things for most community groups, a small number of quilters would still meet in a church hall, as their usual meeting place was shut down during the statewide lockdown.
So some of us met in a church hall just during the, not during lockdowns, of course, but after they were over. A small number kept meeting just for the fellowship and getting together and encouraging each other.
One positive came out of the lockdowns for the members. There were plenty of quilts made.
Lots of us made lots of lockdown quilts, so it's really good to be able to show the general public what we've been doing, and we've kept it to ourselves for so long, so it's good to be able to show everyone again.
Unfortunately, the group did lose some members over the past 4 years, and are keen for some more to join up. The first 3 quilting sessions are on the house.
The second and last Saturday of the month, it's 10 till 4:30. The other Saturdays, it's 1 till 4:30. So if anyone's interested, just call in during those times.
For more information, check out the Silver City Quilters Facebook page. Joshua Mercer, 7, Spencer Golf News.
The Port Pirie Regional Gymnastics Academy has been working overtime, busy transforming their training gym into a venue fit for competition. And they've managed to do just that, with over 500 competitors and family members heading to the city for the statewide gymnastics competition.
A superhero theme is appropriate when you see what these athletes are capable of. And although they make it look easy, a lot of hard work goes on behind the scenes, with some athletes travelling long distances multiple times a week to attend training.
I train 4 days a week for 13 hours.
But they continue to do it because they love it.
Get to do fun stuff and stuff like backflips.
The state competition has been unable to go ahead the last couple of years due to COVID. so the gymnasts were extra excited to show off their skills on their home turf.
We're back and it's just fantastic to see so many clubs and athletes from right across South Australia coming back to Port Pirie to participate in this fabulous event.
Port Pirie gymnasts competed in floor, beam, bar and vault and demonstrated tremendous skills, wowing the audience and taking home medals.
Trying out some new skills in preparation for next year's competition season as well, so we get to see some pretty spectacular stuff.
Behind swimming, gymnastics is the sport with the largest number of growing participants in South Australia, and it's never too late to start.
Port Pirie Gymnastics Academy really prides itself on having classes available for any gymnast at any age.
If you're interested, contact Port Pirie Regional Gymnastics Academy via their Facebook. Annabelle Francis, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. Financial relief for women in the Far West experiencing fertility issues. And solar-powered art. Broken Hill creatives celebrate a decade of desert equinox by doing what they love. Welcome back to 7 Spencer Golf News. Some financial relief is on the way for women trying to get pregnant using IVF in New South Wales. From October 1, women who undergo fertility treatments with an accredited private provider will be eligible for a cash rebate of up to $2,000. For our viewers in Broken Hill and the Far West, the criteria for the rebate is that you must be a resident of New South Wales and have incurred an out-of-pocket cost from a private accredited provider from October 1 onwards. Health Minister Brad Hazzard says that for many women, falling pregnant is stressful enough without the added challenge of finding additional funds for fertility treatments. And with 1 in 6 couples experiencing fertility issues, the New South Wales Government hopes initiatives like this will make fertility treatments more affordable. The scheme opens in January 2023. As the weather warms up, snakes will come out of hibernation, and now is the perfect time to be extra vigilant when you're out and about. Snake sightings on council-owned land, particularly high traffic areas, can be and should be reported to council to ensure the safety of locals and the snakes themselves. If you encounter a snake on a private property in Port Pirie, for example, contact SSS Snake Catching Services. If you head into your local Big W in Port Augusta, Port Pirie or Whyalla, you'll see a number of free children's books. It's part of the store's annual Free Books for Kids program, aimed at improving literacy for kids and those with dyslexia. Big W has partnered with Disney and the Australian Dyslexic Association to produce the books, which feature easy-to-read texts and vibrant illustrations.
We have Disney Frozen and Disney Cars so far. The kids absolutely love running into the store and getting their Frozen books and their Disney books. Also parents as well. It's really, really exciting. It's a good part of our job.
No purchases are necessary to get the books, but hurry as they might be snapped up quickly. Broken Hill's Desert Equinox was on over the long weekend. The regeneration area on Prohart Way lit up as the sun went down, with solar-powered artworks wowing those in attendance as they witnessed the transformative power of community. Put on by the Broken Hill Art Exchange, the show celebrated 10 years in the Silver City. It's been a huge few months for local creatives, further cementing Broken Hill as the art centre of the West. Stay with us after the break. Our reporter Daniel Pizarro recaps the AFLW showdown at Adelaide Oval. And hot and humid. We'll have the weather details with Ruby Cairns. Welcome back to 7 Spencer Golf News. Round 6 of the AFLW saw the much anticipated showdown between Port and the Crows, and it turned into a thumping win for Adelaide. Whalers Hannah Ewing suffered a sore back during the game, but was able to keep playing as her fellow Port teammates reflect on a score blowout.
Port fans hoped Adelaide would ring true to the famous INXS song.
And they could never, ever tear us apart.
But the Crows took early control of the game, holding on to clearances. In front of tens of thousands of people at Adelaide Oval, Crows captain Chelsea Randall scored the first goal of the match, the first of many for Adelaide's scoreboard. Port fared dismally throughout the entire game, only managing to score 3 behinds and leaving the team with plenty to think about as the final siren blared.
It definitely wasn't our best night out there, and it's clear that they've been together for a longer period of time than us. We're 15 weeks there, something on 7 years, and a quality side and the most successful side in the AFLW.
The final score blowout was Adelaide 8-15-63 to Port's 0-3-3. It keeps the Crows at number 2 on the AFLW ladder behind Brisbane.
Immensely proud of the way they went about it. Obviously, it was a big occasion and big build-up.
Felt like at times we brought it to them, and our transition up the field when we could get inside 50 was good, and it was there, but we struggled to finish off when we got in there, and getting it down there wasn't an easy task either.
The only downside for Adelaide is Mackenzie Dorick being ruled out for the rest of the season after suffering a nasty knee injury during the third quarter and will have to undergo surgery. Both clubs played this Saturday for round 7, with Adelaide home to Fremantle, while Port heads to Melbourne for a clash with Hawthorn. Daniel Pizarro, 7 Spencer Golf News.
As school holidays commence across the Spencer Gulf, so does Port Pirie's Kidstober. What's Kidstober? Well, it's a collective event with the aim of making sure parents and guardians don't hear the words, "I'm bored." Port Pirie Council and Uniting Country SA have teamed up to ensure there are plenty of activities to cater for everyone, including bike riding at the Road Safety Centre, learning new sports, or being creative at the library. Follow Kidstober on Facebook to stay up to date with what's on. Time now to take a look at what's happening in the weather with Ruby Cairns. Good evening, Ruby. Some extreme weather around the Spencer Gulf at the moment.
Good evening, Maddie. Yes, as you mentioned earlier in the bulletin, the SES has issued a possible flash flood warning for the Flinders Ranges. Residents are encouraged to prepare their homes for potential flooding and move stock to higher ground. And remember, if it's flooded, forget it. Looking at some of today's temperatures now, 25 degrees in Port Augusta. Whyalla reached 24 degrees around 2:15. Pretty windy over in Cleve this morning. The strongest gust recorded was 67 k's an hour. Temperature-wise, it was 22 degrees. Looking more broadly at today's weather map now, Coober Pedy saw some rain, 2.8 mils all up, which is around 3/4 of the total rainfall recorded in September. Port Pirie topped 25.5 degrees, 22 for Kadina, 23 the top temp in Woodner. Having a look at the satellite image now, a low pressure trough over the far west of South Australia will move slowly eastwards earlier this week, and a low pressure system will develop over the west later tonight. Another cold front will move across from the west on Thursday and early Friday. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, we'll start with the Gulf waters. East to northeasterly winds 15 and 30 knots, winds becoming variable around 10 knots in the late evening. Seas between 1 and 2 metres, south to southwesterly swells below 1 metre, increasing up to 1.5. Rain easing around Port Lincoln tomorrow between 12 and 19 degrees. Showers and 24 for Cleve. Showers easing around Woodner, also headed for a top of 24. Whyalla, showers and 26 tomorrow, down to 15 tonight. Possible storms around Port Augusta on Tuesday, 28 degrees there. Kadina will see some showers, the top temp is 24. Rain is set to increase around Port Pirie, 27 degrees, 20 the top for Clare. A high chance of showers and storms for Broken Hill tomorrow, most likely in the late afternoon and evening, headed for a top of 27 degrees. Taking a look further throughout the week now, the weather is looking to calm down by Wednesday. Sunny for Coober Pedy, 28 degrees, 28 for Port Augusta as well. Partly cloudy for Whyalla, 25, 26 for Port Pirie and Broken Hill. Another big change headed into Thursday. Showers and 32 degrees for Port Augusta. Possible showers and 28 in Woodner and Broken Hill. Showers and 29 in Whyalla and Port Pirie. temperatures will drop back down again for Friday between 17 and 23, 21 for Broken Hill on Friday. At this stage, there is a high chance of showers in the morning before clearing up to a mostly sunny afternoon. And that's all the weather from me tonight. A reminder, you can stay up to date with the Flinders flooding situation and the latest warnings on the SES website. But for now, it's back to you, Maddie.
Thanks for that, Ruby. And that's the local news this Monday. I'm Madeline Kerr. From all of us here, thanks so much for joining us. I'll have updates a little later. But until then, stay safe and enjoy your evening. Good night.